Hey guys, welcome to our CAPSIM videos. In this video, we're going to talk about how to create a new product. Now, there are four main things that we want to teach you guys. The first one is to research the opportunity in the segment. The second is select the appropriate product attributes, and this is done in research and development, or R&D. The third one is order capacity and automation. This is crucial. We'll talk about it later. And the last one is fund the plant with stock and bond issues. Okay, so here we are at the R&D page. Remember, the first step is research the opportunity. So let's go to reports, all the way down to number 4, which is production analysis. Now remember, we are Team Andrews, and we have run product out, and it's able, and it's in the low tech segment, but you can see that everybody is in low tech. So there's obviously an opportunity to go into high tech because nobody's over there. So let's go to high tech.
So since we decided to make a high-tech product, we're going to go ahead and scroll down to the high-tech market segment analysis. And so you can see here, right here, we have the high-tech customer buying criteria. So this is what we're going to use to set the specifications of our product. And so the first thing I'm going to look at is the ideal position. So I can see that the ideal position from last year was 8.1 and 11.9. And so since we're planning ahead for the future, I'm going to increase the performance a little bit and decrease the size. Okay, so I decided that I'm going to make the product, the performance 8.8 and 11.1. So we're going to go ahead and enter in the details for the product. So we decided we're going to call the product ACE, and then the performance is 8.8. and the size is 11.1. And you'll see the last thing we have to do is set the MTBF, which is the mean time before failure. So we'll go back to the high-tech segment, and you can see that right here the ideal reliability is between 17,000 and 23,000. And so we decided we're going to go right somewhere in the middle of those two numbers, so we're going to go for 20,000. And then as you see, we press recalculate, and so we can see that our new product is positioned nicely over here in the ideal position for the high tech, and we have our MTBF, and then the revision date is going to be for August 2022, meaning that it will come out in August of next year.
On to the third step, which is order capacity and automation. You will do this in the production and HR tab. So let's wait for that to load. Awesome. So before we do anything here, let's open up the high-tech segment page and go down and see how many high-tech products sold from each group. You can see that the best group sold about 500 products. So we're going to try and outdo that. Let's go for about 600. Does that sound good? So that means that we have to buy 300 in capacity. Remember that for every 1 capacity, you can sell 2 units of product. Don't forget, after you buy your capacity, please buy automation. We always recommend buying 3. So let's go ahead and put that in and recalculate.
So after we press recalculate, it's going to tell us the investment cost down here, which you can see is 5,400. Now, if we were to try and put 10 for the automation and then press recalculate, you can see that there's a red line through here. And the reason why is because we've gone over our max invest, which is 10,445. And so you want to make sure that if there's a red line, it just means that you're spending too much. So we're going to put it back to 3, and because that's good enough for us at this point. So now that we've finished with production, our last step is to fund the investment. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the finance department. And so there's a few things that we want to look out for here. So the first thing is, you'll notice that in the top left here, it's going to tell us our total investment from our plant improvement. And so we can see that we're spending 5,400 on our plant. And then another important thing to look out for is going to be our cash position for the end of this year. So our cash position, or at least our predicted cash position, is 4,982. But of course, remember that this depends on our forecast and if it's accurate, and what we think we'll sell versus what we actually do sell. And so if our forecast was 100% accurate, this is how much cash we could expect to have at the end of the year. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that this is at least 5,000, and because any less than that and you risk taking out an emergency loan, especially if you don't sell as much as you think you're going to. And so we're pretty good here, it's almost 5,000, but just in case, I'm going to issue a long-term loan of $3,000. And then when we press recalculate, you can see that puts us at 7,693. And so that gives us a good cushion and should avoid an emergency loan in case we don't reach our forecast. And in the finance department, there's two other ways of raising money. And so one of them is going to be issuing stock, which you can do right here. And then the other is going to be issuing current debt. So the difference between current debt and long-term debt is that current debt you pay back the next year, whereas long-term debt you don't pay back until 10 years, and you have 10 years to pay it back. And then you can see right here is the interest rates for the two respective loans. And so once we've done that and we check that, make sure our cash position is good, we're all set, and that's the last step.
Just as a recap, remember we talked about researching where everybody is and figuring out the opportunity that your team can accomplish. You can either choose to stay in low-tech segment or go for a high-tech product. And you can find all of this information in those page analysis reports. And here you can either go to the low-tech or high-tech pages and figure out where you should put the performance and size of your products.
And so once you've entered the details into the R&D page and you've set your performance and size in the MTBF, then it's time to go over to the production department and order capacity and automation. And so remember that you want to research first how many products you think you're going to sell of the new product, and then order your capacity accordingly. And then with the automation, remember we always recommend to set it at 3 to start off with. And the reason why is because you want to make sure that you start off with a good margin with your new product, and so you don't want it really any lower than 3. And then the last thing is that you want to go over to the finance department and fund the plant with stock and bond issues. And so you remember that we talked about the cash position and making sure that that's at least 5,000. And if it's not, then you'd want to fund the plant or fund the business with long-term debt and with stock, and then also the option of current debt as well.
Thank you so much for watching this quick little how-to CAPSIM video about how to create a new product. We will be releasing new videos soon, and those will be more in depth about specific problem areas that students seem to have. Thanks for watching.